G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the south side of the map, we've got Casper playing as the Abbasid dynasty and his opponent who spawns to the north of the map. We've got 3DB playing as the Chinese, going to be starting us off with a little bit of his scout action as he always loves to do. Opening up with the double scout and heading out on early deer. I like this play from him. This is relatively new. We don't actually see this a lot with the Chinese, just primarily because it is very typical for them to put their mill close to their starting town center. So this is a little bit further away. We'll have to see exactly how he plays it. Doing a great job of killing all the deer very close to this mill as well. So there's a couple of reasons why this is incredibly strong. First and foremost, it's going to exhaust your starting deer. So it means that your enemy, if they want to steal your deer, that's one less hunt that they can actually take. So that's part of the reason why it is, it's very, very strong. And obviously, food is also a very fast gathering resource for the deer specifically. So it gathers faster than sheep, it gathers faster than berries. And the only thing that it's outdone by on the land is the boar. So he's going to start off by putting out an Imperial official out on towards this mill. At least he should be. It should be supervising any second. He's obviously turned off automatic tax collection, has forgotten to hit supervise. But we'll take a look at how Casper is doing. So Casper himself has got a single scout out, scouting around, has found 4 sheep so far, so not too bad. By the same token, we've got 3DB with 3 sheep following behind. No sheep yet to follow his second scout behind just yet. But Casper at the moment definitely looking like he's going to be going towards that far second town center. So typically you will see Abbasid players not go for a mill on the berries if they are going for a second fast, or if they're going for a fast second town center. And the reason why is because ideally they want to save that 50 wood, because they're going to need to spend 50 wood on their House of Wisdom, of course. But they want to save that last 50 wood that they've got for a lumber camp on their wood line. So we'll have to see how Casper plays. But obviously the map that we're playing on is Hill and Dale. If there is one map where I would say the Abbasid are a viable civilization, then Hill and Dale would be that map. If you said, you know, you're only allowed to play one map with Hill and Dale, or you can pick your own map, what do you play? You would play Hill and Dale with the Abbasid. They are very strong on this map. And the reason why is because it is a 100% land-based map. And you might be thinking, okay, but hold on, Drongo, Abbasid have got cheaper dogs, so surely they're better on those sort of hybrid maps. And yeah, that's true, they're decent on hybrid maps, but this map is very good for them because first and foremost, it gives them this beautiful defensive cover that they're able to, you know, wall up and make themselves nice and safe behind. And second of all, their opponent doesn't have any way to sort of keep up with their economy if they go for a 3TC boom. So keep in mind, right, if let's say we're playing on Black Forest, okay, well, your opponent is going to be able to water boom just like you're going to be able to water boom. So if you do a 3TC boom, it's not going to be a crazy big difference between the economies, say at the first 10 minutes or even at the first 15-minute mark. It's only at maybe like 20 to 25 minutes where your economy is really going to start shifting out. But on this map, this is a map where your economy already begins to boom at around the 10-minute mark, the 12-minute mark. You're already jumping ahead of your opponent. So we'll have to see exactly how Casper looks to play that and whether he looks to go for a 2TC or a 3TC boom. He has already got enough gold for fresh food stuff, so I would suspect he's probably going to be pulling off gold shortly. You can see he is also heading out now out to Stone, bringing 7 villagers out there. That's quite early to be having that many villagers out there. But going to be going up with the economic wing, I can only imagine, and indeed that is exactly what we see. Still got these villagers on gold. Very curious what he's doing here. Maybe looking for some potential upgrades or something. I'm not sure exactly what we may see here out of Casper, but he's going to be scouting out his enemy. He's got plenty of sheep behind him at the moment, so Casper's not doing a terrible job at taking the sheep, considering his opponent has actually gone double scout opening. Still, this scout has got no sheep around it. But now going to be supervising up this mill. It's only got 22 tax in it. Second Imperial official going to be coming out for 3DB here. He's going to be dropping down his age up in about 4 minutes. So relatively late age up, I would say, for 3DB. Going to be delaying everything. And that's one thing to remember, though. A lot of people will look at the early mill on the deer start and be like, okay, that's like 100% better. One of the things to remember is that's going to slow down your tempo. So if you're not putting your mill on your wood line, which is one of the typical things that we see people do, just to keep it very close to the lumber camp, or putting your mill on your berries, it's going to be further away. So it means more walking distance for your Imperial official, which means it's going to be potentially, you know, missed drops happening out for your villagers as well. So a lot of things to be cognizant of as to how it affects the build order. But going to be going with the, opening up with the Imperial Academy. So a wise choice and really gathering quite a lot of wood here. Sitting up at close to 450 wood. He just dropped down a mining camp on the stone outcropping. So probably going to be shifting over his villagers over to stone, and that's exactly what we've got. So going to be looking to put down that second town center as well already. We see it's getting towards that 5-minute mark, and typically for China players, you would have your second town center well and truly down by then, probably getting close to finished. So curious that he's opted to go for this deer route. I'm keen to see what else he can look to achieve, but now we see Casper overgathering stone quite significantly at this point. Does have fresh foodstuffs coming in, still has 170 gold in the bank at the moment, plenty of villagers in the queue, so he is looking to boom up and looking towards adding that second TC, but the fact that he's got one villager just still on stone, to me, kind of indicates that he's probably going to be going for a 3-town center boom. Otherwise, like, why would you continue having that villager on stone? I mean, maybe you want a stone wall, maybe that's what he's thinking about doing. So we will have to look out for that. But, you know, on this map, 3-town center booms is basically standard play for Abbasid Dynasty. Obviously, they get the cheaper villagers. So the villager price drops down from 50 down to 25 with fresh foodstuffs. It is a beautiful technology. As a consequence of that, it becomes much more efficient for them to make more town centers. It's the best way to take advantage of that is through more town centers. And now we do have that second town center going to go down at 6 minutes. Quite a late town center. I know that Mister has got a build order with his Abbasid Dynasty. He can get that second town center down at 4:45. So maybe Casper's got to go check in with Mister, see exactly what he's doing differently. But Casper now going to be adding in that second town center. We'll have a look at what else he plans to do, but at the moment still sticking around with wood, so some players will immediately look to begin focusing on food and gold if they're going for that fast castle, but I would suspect that that's what we're going to see, a 3 TC boom into fast castle, but we'll have to pay attention, we'll have to see. Looks like he is going to actually hook this one up and see if he can get all of the buildings connected. He's got 2, 4, 6, 8, that'll give him 10 buildings right there, as long as it's connected to the network. I think these two have actually got a gap in between them. I don't think we can see the network. I guess you can kind of see it there. The town center must have a little bit of a weird network around it. I think they got to kind of fix this up, because I always notice there's just like the slightest little gap. Like it'll be like that much between them, and it's technically not connected, even though the tiles are basically touching. So probably something for a QA to look at. Check that one out. Tier 1 going to get activated now, so going to be dropping down. I think he just dropped down a 10th house, or a 10th building, but we'll spot out 3DB. We'll see exactly what he is up to. So he's got plenty of villagers down here on gold. He has added in his second town center, of course, no surprises there. Still quite heavy on wood at this point in time, so I'm curious to see what he's going to look to add. Probably going to be going towards a dynasty. It would make a lot of sense for him to do that here, knowing that he's going up against double town center Abbasid, so it's very, very safe for him to add that dynasty and basically take him towards a 3-town center boom. Technically, it is more than a 3-town center boom. It works out to be 3.09. So if you're counting at home, there you go. There you go. So he's got the quadruple IO out already. We'll take a look at what upgrades he's got through. We'll check on the mill. You can see he's got all 4 still. Check on the lumber camp. He's got both of them, and the mining camp. Still got the first one. So no upgrades coming through just yet, with the exception of Imperial Examinations, which is going to be pushing up his Imperial officials so that they are gathering up 40 gold here instead of 20 gold. So basically just increases that limit. You can see it coming in now. So it means when these Imperial officials come out towards this lumber camp, they're going to be able to pick up all of that tax. There you go. And they're just going to bring it back. So there you go. Now they've got that new cap for them. So 3DB now going to be in a position to drop down that second landmark. I'm curious to see as to whether he actually does that. We'll have a look at Casper and see what he is going for. Whether we got that third town center down just yet. It doesn't seem like it. But obviously you can see from his macro he is thinking about it. Going to begin walling off the front. Going to begin walling off the bottom. And probably going to begin walling off the side as well. This is quite a standard play, I would say, for the Abbasid Dynasty. Keep in mind that players typically now have begun adapting to the point on this map where they don't even bother walling anymore. They just scout their opponent. They're like, all right, you're on 2 TCs. Cool, I'm on 3 TCs. Oh, okay, you're on 2 TCs and you're mining stone still, so you're probably going to go to 3 TCs. Cool bananas, I'll go for my dynasty. And that's essentially how they play it. They just scout each other out. They don't even need to make walls anymore, but we don't see 3DB adding that in. But obviously, Casper probably looking to hide something out here, just because we don't really see these walls unless players are looking to hide things now. So what are some options that Casper could be hiding? Could be looking to hide some sort of timing push. Obviously, he's playing Abbasids, so he could be looking to hide like a spear all in, or a men-at-arms all in. That's something that he could be looking to hide behind here. So he's going to need to get his infrastructure up for it, but alternatively, he can always look to do a proxy or something like that. So a lot of good spots actually out here to proxy. So this is a really nice spot here. Nothing really out over here. This isn't a bad spot as well, but you ideally want it nice and close to your base. But this is a very good map to proxy on, so that is always something to be cognizant of, and try your best to scout it out. That double TC coming out. Where's that third town center coming down towards the berry patch down here? So got 11 villagers on that. He's going to be able to exhaust those out pretty quick, but nice coverage down here from Casper to get that third town center up. We'll take a look at how 3DB is doing. So he's adding in his villagers now. Obviously hitting that dynasty is going to help him out quite a bit there. For anybody who's unfamiliar with the Chinese dynasty, just to explain it, so because he's made 2 landmarks, he gets access to a whole bunch of new bonuses, and one of the bonuses is this brand new building, the village, and also his villagers, or his, villagers, not to be confused with village. So you've got village, and then you've got villager. So his villagers, they train faster. So down from 20 seconds to 13 seconds. So it works out to be significantly faster for the villager training. But we've actually got professional scouts now coming out for 3DB. So despite the fact that he exhausted this initial starting hunt, he said, you know what, I'm still going to invest in professional scouts. Very, very interesting. So obviously this is made up of an advantage of 2 potential hunts that he could grab in. This hunt he's obviously not going to be able to grab because there's been walls to the front of his enemy's base. I don't think he has scouted this one out, but I would suspect that he knows this hunt is essentially off limits for him this game. Going to be adding in a whole bunch of barracks here as well, 3DB. So he is looking for that timing towards that castle edge. You can see he's looking to age up very shortly. He's probably going to be going up within the next minute. Probably going to be going up with the Imperial Academy, rather the Imperial Palace, I think it's called. Probably going to be placing it down, I would imagine, right here. It seems like a really good spot, as long as it's right in the influence of the Imperial Academy. It doesn't look like he's going for it. Going to go outside and in between these 2 gold mines. So curious placement here, but at the same time, it makes sense. It's very easy for his villagers. There's not a lot of walking time. You know, it's already halfway, and his villagers probably would have only just dropped it down there, but he is going to drop blacksmith down next to the town center as well. Going to be going for a double blacksmith opening here as well. So probably looking towards a timing push with palace guards. Probably get a few nested bees out. Nested bees, they're great to get out aggressively now. So I just love going nested bees, palace guards. Palace guards obviously team up really well with nested bees. And, you know, if I was to compare it to, say, nest of bees and mangonels, I would want to take the nest of bees. Oh, sorry, like if I was to pair up the palace guard with the nest of bees or the men at arms and the nest of bees, I would want to take the palace guards because the palace guards are faster than the men at arms. So for anybody unfamiliar, palace guards run at 1.38 movement speed, whereas a men at arm only runs at 1.12. So it's a pretty big difference when you think about it. And that extra speed difference, you can use it to actually kill your enemy's springalds. So you can make nest of bees, and then if they get threatened by enemy springalds, then the palace guards can go and chase them down. So it's a pretty decent combination. It actually works really well together. 3DB going to be scouting out his opponent's wall almost immediately, so going to be running straight up to it, beginning to siege down that gate by the looks of it. Try and poke a nice big hole in his opponent's gate, but now we've actually got a bit of a little bit of a stone wall coming up right now for Casper. I do like this play as well. Now, obviously behind this, he is thinking about going to the 3rd age, almost looking like he might be going for a fast Imperial here. So I am a big fan of this, and we'll take a look at exactly what his opponent has got in response to this, because he's going to be looking to probably add in some barracks at some point. Does have the double blacksmith down, does have both +1 upgrades at the moment, going straight into +2 as well. And looking to really stonewall up absolutely everything. I like these stone walls from Casper. He's going to be able to delay his opponent a lot on this front wall. Have a look back towards his opponent base, and 3DB actually going to be under attack out here with the mosque. Or with the monk, rather. You can see that he's going to pick up a relic over here, but has to move the palace guards back now. 3D's probably going to be scouting out. You can see that he has spotted the stone wall here, so he's going to know it's pretty pointless to push in through here. He's going to need some form of siege, but that monk trying its best to ignore the damage of the scout, and he is moving down towards this position. Probably going to be looking to pick up this relic down here, but now that scout going to be going down, and 3D going to be left in the dark. Up towards the rest of the map, or rather, it's Casper that's going to be left in the dark towards the map. So we'll take a look over from his perspective and see what he sees. And what do we have? Oh my jeez, holy shit! We were talking about proxies earlier. Now I was saying this was probably going to be a good spot, but I'll tell you now, this is a good spot as well. This is a good spot as well. Now I'm pretty confident that that 3D is blind to this completely. And I gotta say, I love this. This is so smart. So Casper's gone for full stone walls. Now, what could you do with stone walls? Like, you gotta think about it. Like, behind stone walls. Okay, fast Imperial. He could be going for, like, some sort of siege composition, like looking to get mangonels out. He's gonna slowly push. He's doing a 3 TC boom. Maybe he's going 4 TCs. Maybe he's doing a proxy. Maybe he is doing a proxy, and that's exactly what he is doing. And these men-at-arms are going to be so incredibly strong. We actually see the +2s come through. +2 attack, +2 defense, also going to be coming through for them. And keep in mind, he's playing the Abbasid Dynasty, so he's able to get out Springalds on the front line, battering rams on the front line. He doesn't need to research any sort of siege engineering. It's already there for him, and he's already got that +2. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see Iron Undermesh come through for him. And now we've got battering rams coming down for him. Now, I don't think 3D's got any clue about this. What is 3D even doing behind this? So 3D behind this, oh my god, he's booming up like a madman. No, 3D, this is not this is not good. This is not what the doctor ordered at this point. 3D going to continue scouting out with the Monk down here, looking to actually snatch up that relic. Not going to have a lot of luck as he spots out the rest of those stone walls. A second relic going to be picked up for him in the middle of the map as he continues to walk those ones back. So you can see he's already got that first one out there. There's another one out here for him and one in his base. So pretty nice little spawns there for him. I mean, this one's pretty close to Casper anyway, but we'll take a look back up towards the north because this is where the cheeky shenanigans has begun. This is the ultimate proxy strategy right here coming in. I gotta say, I love this right here. This is so smart from Casper. Really, like, taking the proxy to the next level. Look how many barracks we got here. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Casper. Speaking of Casper, you know what, Casper? I'm gonna take a quick drink, mate, while you continue proxying up. Just give me a second, fellas. That is delicious. That is some of the wifey's best lemon bitters, homemade, of course. Yeah, well, that is delicious. Damn, that is good. Lemon bitters. You know what? Is there anything better than lemon bitters? Be honest. I don't think so. I don't think there's anything better than that in the world. Nothing at all. Independent democracy? No, nothing close to it. 3DB now going to be under potential attack here in the middle of the map. I bet you guys are wondering where that came from. Came out of left field, didn't it? But now 3DB going to be under a little bit of attack as the surprise motherfucker comes in. Where does this even come from? So 3D, he's been down on this sacred side. He's been like, oh yeah, this Casper guy, he's got no clue what he's doing. He's terrible at the game. And then all of a sudden it's like, surprise, motherfucker. He is really in a difficult spot. He has brought in a wolf with him here. What kind of response do we have behind this from 3D? So 3D is looking to add in more infrastructure. So we see him just dropping down archery ranges like a madman. Really using that Chinese bonus. Probably going to be looking to get crossbows out. We see him getting those crossbows out. He's got plenty of resources in the bank. He's going to be able to produce. The only issue is whether he's going to have the production to do it. Losing villager space or population space, town center going down, villagers going down. So he's going to be sitting on almost, he's going to need maybe 4 or 5 houses after this one gets killed. He's down to, was down to 80 population space, and now you see the Palace Guards trying their best to deal with this. 3DB having a really difficult time. Nesta B is going to be coming out here as well, and that's so many men-at-arms. I don't think there's any way that 3DB is going to be able to hold this. I think that this just might be a good game here at this point. 3DB trying his best. You see those Palace Guards doing their best to try and just mash the enemy with their, I think they're called Guendos or something, Guensos or Guinsus, or, hold on, let's click on them and find out. They're called Guanduaos. All sacred sites now taken by 3DB, but it's not really going to matter when his opponent is destroying him like this. Crossbows in a difficult spot as well. Nesta B is trying his best to run away. You can see it's actually got a pretty decent movement speed on it. 1.12 compared to the 1.12 of his opponents. Really doing a good job. Plenty of crossbows actually coming out for him at this point. Needs to get these rams up towards the archery ranges. So we take a look at the perspective of Casper. Casper spots these archery ranges. He should be moving up here, but instead he's going after the village. This isn't a terrible choice, but keep in mind this is very easy to replace. Select 7 villages, drop down another village, and you're fine. So it is a curious decision as to why he hasn't really committed up towards this angle. Plenty of crossbows still coming out, though. We see that the way that his opponent's actually doing it. Is he supervising up these as well? He's got one supervisor up here towards the mill, so he's lost the majority of his supervisors. Going to continue focusing down the astronomical clock tower, and this is a difficult spot because these rams are very open to the villagers. If 3DB spots this, he's going to be able to siege these down very, very quickly, and it looks like that the majority of Casper's army is being cleaned up. I've got no idea how he really did it. There's plenty of crossbows out, so I can only imagine that's what it is. Villagers looking like they want to get in on the action, getting some torches in their hand, and this is exactly what I was talking about. First ram going to go down astronomical clock tower, probably going to get, oh, it's getting healed up. He's managing to keep it alive. Plenty of villagers here. There's 39 villagers right here, so So they are going to just absolutely melt through this like a hot knife through butter. And it looks like 3DB somehow managed to hold on, despite Casper taking him by complete surprise. Mangonel's now coming out as well for Casper, so the game is not over. Mangonel's shot comes down, lands right on top of all those crossbows. They're going to try their best to stay alive, but the Mangonels can continue to fire on it. Those Palace Guards do move forward. I talked about it earlier as to why the Palace Guards are a great combination with Nesta Bees. Well, it turns out they're a great combination against any form of siege, as they manage to get that pick there and then run away to safety away from the men-at-arms as they chase them to the ends of the earth. +1 going to be coming in for his opponent as well. It's 3DB rather getting +2 in. I take that back. But now a little bit of a raid up towards the north, so this is the consequence of not walling in. So 3DB had that opportunity to wall in. He could have stonewalled in if he wanted to. Would have bought him a little bit of time, but now he's on a really difficult, well, in a really difficult spot. We'll have a look at the village account. He's on 94. Compare that over to Casper, who sits at the moment at 106. So look, really, realistically, this is pretty even Stevens, I would say, at this point. 155 population in total versus 131. So it's not crazy out of the question when it comes to this, but I would be curious to see if he's going to be able to hold on. He's really going to need to try and add more villages in. Obviously, he's sitting on one town center at the moment, so I'd love to see him add a second town center. Look at his base. It has just been completely destroyed. So he's lost multiple villages. 5 barracks have gone down. That town center obviously went down. He's got more barracks that he's rebuilt up towards the north, but he needs to add in more infrastructure. That is for sure. I'd love to see him add in a second town center again, but his opponent's so far ahead of him at this point when it comes to the infrastructure, so it's really something that's quite difficult to achieve. Sacred Site going to continue going up, and now we've got that second push coming in now. Round 2 is coming. Casper is absolutely ready. He is pushing back upon his opponent, and he's saying, you know what? Where are your crossbows now, friend? Where are they now? Springald going to get dropped down in the base as well. Is there potential? Yeah, okay, so Springalds are coming out for 3D, so that's why we've got the combination coming out from his opponent to drop down that Springald. But keep in mind, the Springalds of Chinese players are going to be having a lot more health points than the Springalds of their opponents, so you can see 200 versus 300, and now we've got a little bit of villager on Monk action. It isn't the fastest of battles, but it sure is a holy one. Mangonel's getting decent shots off there, managing to dodge them out with the Palace Guards, using that movement speed to their advantage. And now we've got the Springalds going to be trading off, managing to focus down the Springalds on the front for his enemy there, taking them all down. He's got to be careful. A lot of these Mangonels are very, very close to potentially dying. Those Springalds are doing their best to actually pinch them down. Going to be trying is to take them off. Gets a decent shot up here, but still he keeps a lot of these units alive. And now those Springalds have managed to do their job. All they need to do is just kill the enemy siege. That is literally it. Congratulations. That is it. You've done your job. The enemy Springalds, he doesn't need to worry about those. It's all about killing those Mangonels. That's really what he cares about. As long as they're dead, he is a happy man. They have achieved their job. And now the crossbows are going to be able to clean up the men-at-arms. But the men-at-arms have got eyes on the prize. They are looking for villagers by the looks of it. Casper now heading in towards the base of his enemy. We'll take a look at how the villager count's looking. Casper up to 121 at the moment. 3DB sitting on 99. So it is starting to really begin a villager lead, beginning to build for Casper at this point in time. Springalds still doing their best to try and deal with this. We've got more clock tower Springalds coming out here, and more farms going to get added down by 3DB. So I thought that he already had enough farms, but it turns out he does not. He's going to continue adding in more. We've got those Nesta Bees, rather those men-at-arms moving out towards the west of his base. They should be fine, though. They should be fine. They're probably going to manage to get through there. Actually, we've got the walls up now. So he's going to know about them, and he's going to be moving in on them. So probably going to be all she wrote for those. And at this point, it's starting to look like 3DB is managing to stay quite strong. I think he's stabilized at this point. It definitely seems that he's stabilized at this point. So we'll take a look now. He's got 4 relics in the bank. This is pretty nice. So the only relic that he doesn't have is this one out that's stonewalled in behind Casper's base. So I don't think he's going to be having too much of a chance to get that one in. But now Casper going to be adding towards the front of his base plenty of infrastructure. So really looking to begin adding in. What have we got here? I'm going to actually do a quick check of what he's added. So 7 archery ranges, 8 barracks, and he's going full archers. So is this in response to the crossbows of his opponent? Is that what we're expecting? So we take a look at 3D, and you can see that he's got 45 crossbows out. So one of the questions I was asking in a previous game that I casted tonight was, you know, what do you do against this mass men-at-arms? And obviously the reaction is, well, you go mass crossbows. And then I was thinking, well, then you've got to deal with mass men-at-arms and mangonels. And then it was like, okay, but then you make Springalds. And I was questioning as to whether it was going to work. And I think 3DB has definitely established that it has worked. Crossbows and Springalds, rather, seem to do very, very well. He's going to begin looking for that forward base, probably going to be able to find it as well. He has lost all 3 sacred sites. He does manage to spot that barracks out. So going to be working his way towards the enemy. And you see that villager coming down, probably looking to drop down a tower. Yeah, dropping down a... no, that's a mining camp for Casva. What is this villager up to, actually? I'm very curious. But now, going to continue building that one up. 3DB actually sitting on max population at the moment, so 103 and 97. Not too bad for him. This mass is quite large. He's beginning to push out with villagers as well. And indeed, we have an outpost going down for 3DB. He's looking to try and establish a little bit of line of sight, give himself some insight, some intel. His opponent, Casva, is currently sitting on 192 population. And now that archer mass is beginning to build, and we see the crossbows actually just or not even moving in, they're just moving in at this point. He's got to get those palace guards up in the front. But now going to be trying his best to sort of hold this position. You see the way that he moves in as well. Palace guards can't really make up their mind as to what they want to do. I do like the combination that 3D has got in this position here. We've got to keep that. He's going to go down potentially. We can see that Casva also has enough resources to head up towards the next age, so we'll have to pay attention to see whether he actually does that. Outpost getting fortified over to the left-hand side. Interestingly, the outposts for the Abbasids actually look very fortified, but that is not their fortified version. This is the circular fortified version is really what they look like. But no siege really coming out for Casva at this point. A Mangonel would definitely help him. Keep in mind there are Springles on the back line here at Castle, also going to be going down for 3DB as he looks to begin putting on a bit of damage to the outpost here, which has got a Springled in it. He's slowly burning down the outpost on the front line. A beautiful formation he's got for the Palace Guards here. Going to try and minimize the damage that comes out to any potential Mangonels. And look at all of these outposts going up from Casva. He's trying his best to delay his opponent. I can't help but feel. We've got the next age coming through for 3DB, so he's looking to add the Spirit Way. I'm trying to find it. Let's see if we can spot it. There it is, Spirit Way coming down. A beautiful spot. Going to have plenty of room in here as well to add in that those stables if that's what he's looking for, or archery ranges, but it's probably going to be stables. Players have been moving towards a more stable-based late game composition. So what we have been seeing is players going for those Fire Lancers. They've been doing really, really well. So we'll have to see how he plays it. We'll check on what upgrades he's got coming in as well. So you can see he's got plenty of infrastructure. No upgrades coming through on the barracks. Actually, I take that back. He's got elite as well as battle hardened coming through. We'll have a look at the archery range. No elite upgrades coming through for those crossbows just yet. May indicate that he's thinking about transitioning out of it, but obviously still continuing to plan on those palace guards. We'll have a look as well while this fight continues as to whether he's got any upgrades on the way coming through. He's got +3 attack as well as +3 defense. Actually, I think that's just +3 range attack and +3 melee attack. Oh, sorry, +3 range defense, +3 melee defense, I apologize. Also has the university up, so he's going to begin getting in those unique technologies as well that are available to the Chinese. Now beginning to fire off these nested bee masses, beginning to build as well. He's obviously got towards the front of his base a gate, so they're going to be able to get out there. Astronomical Clock Tower looking to get those upgrades in as well, and he's continuing to put more siege onto these outposts. Obviously, it's going to take time for them to go through, and did he just delete that? Oh, I think he tried to build that outpost, and then he's just cancelled it. Casva now reaching the Imperial Age as well. We'll check in on Casva, see what upgrades he's got coming through as well. So we can see he's making a lot of crossbows at the moment, and he's rallying a whole bunch of stuff. So going for an elite crossbow upgrade. So that is the upgrade that he's gone for. He's got 5 stables down as well, down here towards the north of his initial base. But that's going to be under some significant threat as 3D continues to push out towards his direction. Casva's got plenty of line of sight here. Crossbowman going to be moving forward and taking on the crossbows of his opponent. Now, elite palace guards are out, so that's probably why we do see elite crossbows coming out as a response from Casva. Now, Casva's sitting on 131 economy, 69 military population. Nice. And we'll take a look over at his opponent, 3DB, who's sitting on 101 economic population and 70 military population. So almost a nice one there for him. And he's going to look to continue expanding out his presence on this map. Moving forward, once again, those Springalds doing a great job of taking out the Springalds of his opponent. I would expect that we begin to see bombards coming through relatively soon for 3D, but do note he's only just gotten onto this gold vein. You can see that it's basically maxed out here. He's got a villager or an Imperial official doing a great job of supervising, and now we've got those elite crossbowmen coming through. No elite archers, it seems, just veteran archers at the moment. They're going to be able to shred through these palace guards. You can see just how much damage they're doing, 17 with +11 versus heavy, so these guys are not going to stay around for too much longer, unfortunately. Archers moving forward. Never the place that you want to be, archers kissing the enemy like that. Look, if you're an archer or Aspiring Archer, do not do what Casper just did with those archers. That is not the right thing to do. But these crossbows actually going to do a pretty decent job of holding up here. Elite Crossbowman actually coming through for 3DB as well here. So we can see he's got the 3-3 upgrade compared to only a 2-1. Does have slightly more damage at the moment, though. Villager's going to get pulled out as well, and I think that's going to be the nail in the coffin for Casper as he retreats back. He's like, the villagers were just too much. I couldn't deal with them. Yes, the village is actually going to be moving forward for a potential keep here. So you can see he's got this all marked down. It's actually taken a little bit of damage, so it has gone down. And you can see that he is dropping it down. He's got villagers out. Horsemen also getting in the mix. I don't think these have upgraded horsemen at all. They don't even have their veteran upgrades yet. He's trying to just get them in. He's trying to get units out towards his enemy. But towards the back line, I mean, he's still got these barracks that he can consider investing in. Even just getting out some spears to try and distract your enemy probably isn't a bad idea at this point. Horsemen are going to continue to try and distract the enemy. Not doing a lot. Villagers, he's only got 4 of them in there, so that castle is going up slowly, but it is going up steadily. And unless the crossbows manage to actually focus down those villagers, that castle will go up. 4 villagers still. 4 villagers still. 3 villagers now, 2 villagers now, not too many villagers remaining. 1 villager remains. Is he going to be able to pick that off? Indeed, it looks like he's going to be able to pick it off. He stalls the castle coming out at 4,400 health. Going to be able to buy himself a little bit of time. We don't have boiling oil coming out for Casper at the moment. We'll check in on 3D and see whether he's got that upgrade. No, it doesn't seem like he does. Do we have any sort of artillery or siege coming out at the moment? Don't see any clock tower bombards coming out at this point. I would really love to see it. It's going to help clean up this mess at the front so much for either of these players, really. It's going to be able to buy them a lot of time, especially for 3D. He's already got the Springald superiority, so that's really going to buy him quite a significant presence on this mass. We'll have a look at the upgrades that he's got. No roller shutter triggers coming out from him at this stage, but over on the back line, the fight continues off between the 2 towers. Springald v Springald. Slowly, these outposts are going to be going down ever so slowly. But now that that push is beginning to continue rather on the front. And Springald's getting into a pretty decent spot. Got to be careful here, though. We'll take a look from Casper's perspective and see what he sees. And he's continuing to expand out toward the west. Look at the resources he's got in the bank. So he's got 131 villagers at the moment. He's got the superior economy compared to his opponent, who's only sitting on 103. So he's up about 30 villagers. He just needs to stabilize. That's the one thing he can't yet do, because Casper is down on the military numbers. He's up on the economy numbers. So he wants to get into a position where he's going to be able to continue spamming into his opponent and then be able to overtake him with an economic lead, be able to outmass him, outproduce him. That's what he's looking for. Mass continuing to build now for 3D. Still yet to add in any kind of bombards. I'm looking for it. There's the first bombard finally coming out. Looks like we've got an upgrade coming through as well. It's reload drills for that faster attack time. Have we got pyrotechnics coming through just yet? Let's have a look and see if we can spot it. Pyrotechnics not yet on the way, but he is going for elite army tactics. So looking to increase the health points of his melee infantry. They're at 210 at the moment, but they'll be going up very shortly. They rocket up, actually. I think it's a 20% bonus. Now it's been buffed up quite recently, so I'm looking forward to seeing how high that actually gets. Still don't see any burning oil coming out for the keeps of his opponent yet. So 210 HP, let's watch it. When that elite army tactics comes in, it is going to rocket that up. 252 now, so a 42 health point increase there for those units. So pretty darn nice when you think about it. Bombard's going to continue pushing down towards his opponent's base, and look at all the infrastructure that is out here right now on the map for Casper. So he's got a lot of elite crossbows out. He's got plenty of Springalds out. Villagers doing their best to mine on the front line, but once again, it really feels like he's unable to keep up in economy. I want to have a look at what his upgrades are with regard to his economy. So he's only got tier 1 lumber, tier 2 on the mining, and what has he got for farming? He's only got tier 2 on the farming as well, so needs to get those upgrades in. Crossbows are standing very close to the front line. They've got to keep microing, keep kiting. You can see they've got that beautiful archer upgrade where they do the sort of the glowing bow attack, but majority of these Springalds are going to be able to take out the Springalds of Casper's, so 3D going to be having that artillery or that siege advantage once again. Casper doing his best to hold on, and I love seeing that the crossbow has become the meta unit now, or at least that's the way it seems. Both players looking to continue reinforcing crossbows towards the front lines. Bombards on the back line are going to be able to continue providing that building siege, and Casper looking like he might be in a difficult spot here. 3DB beginning to push up significantly. He's got a 3k score lead at the moment. Casper continuing to drop down these outposts, trying his best, fortifying them, getting the Springald attachments, or the Springald emplacements, but the siege superiority superiority that 3D has got at the moment really just speaks to China's strength in the late game. And now we've got elite men-at-arms coming up towards the base of 3D, but Casper's done a little bit of a boo-boo here. He's only got one elite men-at-arms that's attacking, so he sort of gives away his intentions, and that subsequently triggers a response out from his opponent. So we can see that he's moving back towards that. That's the whole reason why I actually came up here in the first place, is because there was an attack warning up here, and we saw 3DB's units moving up there, and now towards the middle of the map, we've got the siege that just continues to hold steadfast. Crossbows are going to be able to move back and hold this off, so any hope that Casper had of potentially delaying the outcome of this game is going to be restricted because the crossbows are able to move back in time, and just that single little bit of a mistake gets completely cleaned up. I think that we'll probably see stone walls coming in here as a response to that. It feels like the only appropriate response. Pyrotechnic's going to be coming in as well, unless he somehow manages to clean this one up by itself, but going to have a difficult time out towards the middle of the map. 33 villagers out here and a scout just hanging out as well. I don't know what this scout is all about, but I don't know how much it's really contributing to the Chinese economy at this point in time. Another castle going to be going down on the front line, and 3D doing a great job of just cleaning up this mass in the middle of the map. More crossbows doing their best to continue making springalds. I'd love to see some bombards coming out of Casper, but at the same time, you know, this is part of the reason why China is so strong when it comes to the late game. I've talked about this before. When you have 50% health on top of a 20% extra range, on top of 33% reduced reload time, on top of, you know, the Ming Dynasty bonus or the Yuan Dynasty bonus, it's just like China just has so many bonuses for their bombards. It's ludicrous. And bombards, you know, in the late game, they are the kings. And as a result, this is pretty much what happens in any game where China can manage to survive until the late game. They are just going to begin to slowly roll over you. And, you know, it's one of those things that really, to me, says that China needs to be nerfed in the late game. We need to start seeing these numbers toned back just because of how strong China is. You know, whenever it gets to a point like this in the game where they're able to sort of establish these bombard numbers, you know, we're talking about 5, 6 bombards coming out now. I don't think there's anything that you can really do to respond to this. Culverins can't deal with it. Springalds cannot deal with it. Mass scouts can try and deal with it, but then the response is just mass nest of bees or mass mangonels in return versus mass scouts there. It's kind of funny, actually, to watch that happen. But now Casper still looking good up towards the north, or actually, rather, 3DB looking good towards the north. He's actually opted towards that wood line, running out of wood in his base. Going to continue forcing back his opponent. Casper sitting on 163 population at the moment. He's trying his best to put down emergency fortifications. We see the archery range going to come up. He's got plenty of resources in the bank to drop more keeps, but at the same time, against 6 bombards, you're just delaying the inevitable. And at this point, Casper is under attack at all points of the map. There's keeps that are up right now. Multiple sacred sites have got keeps on them. I think this one's got one as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we look for 3D potentially looking to seal up a sacred site victory, or at least take control of those sacred sites. And the men-at-arms, or rather palace guards, are going to be moving forward, and he's doing a great job with this. Now going to be dropping down the Imperial Palace, so that's going to be providing him a line of sight. It's also going to be providing him that Yuan Dynasty bonus, so he's going to be going up from 1.05 movement speed up here, and that's going to be taking it up. I think it works out to be like 1.24 or something like that. It's pretty decent. Elite Camel Riders now coming out. Is this the only thing that he can make in this position? I think that they might be... No, they're quite heavy on food. I don't even know why we've got Elite Camel Riders come out, or I didn't even know why Elite Camel Rider is researched. I'm going to be honest with you guys, but they do try and get out, and they're just getting two-shot by the bombards on the back line. And once we've got that 3DB landmark come up, that is going to really increase the mobility of his army as well. It's going to help him react to a lot of situations like this up towards the north where an attack is coming through. There is a battering ram that's coming out for his opponent as well. And now a little bit of a villager push. It looks like a large last-ditch effort for 3DB to try and bow out of this one, or to try and force 3D to bow out, but he does have that Yuan Dynasty bonus now coming in. You can see that the bombards are actually able to almost outrun the villagers, now falling in underneath the keep. There is no boiling oil here, so he's going to be okay, and villagers do manage to take out the first bombard. Second bombard going to get taken out, but on that north side, he gets shut down completely, and Casper is looking like he is in a terrible position, and Casper taps out. 3DB is successful in the game. Well, congratulations go over to him. A very nice game from him, and he almost lost it there. That push was incredibly scary from him. Guys, I'm going to leave links in the description to both of these players. Make sure you check them out. Incredible content creators, incredible players, and I will catch you guys in the next one.